Everyone's heard of Skegness. Even people who've never been there know about Billy Butlin. And they'd probably recognise the Diamond Jubilee clock tower that famously leans just a degree or so out of the vertical. The East Coast weather is famous too. 90 years ago it was summed up in a slogan that became a national catchphrase. The same poster gave us the Jolly Fisherman. In one form or another, he's been the town's unmistakable emblem ever since. Back in the 30s, the carnival floats were built along rather different lines, and what you see in the background has changed a bit as well. The splendid new motor lifeboat, the Anne Allen, was guaranteed star billing. For more than a century, Skegness has been a magnet. From all over the Midlands they came, holiday makers and day trippers alike, by road, by rail, on bicycles, and one determined visitor actually walked from London. How many more people are on that bus? After a roast beef dinner costing a shilling, that's 5p, our visitors are ready to sample all the delights Skegness can offer them. Not the Max Sennett bathing beauties, but the Bostock family from Norfolk on their annual holiday in 1928. There's always been something about Skegness that encourages people to let their hair down. Now you know you're at the seaside. Casual wear for a day on the beach in the 1920s. The trampoline had only just been invented, and the flying potters were amongst the first novelty acrobats to make use of it. In the 1930s, Skegness had never seen anything like it. For Carnival Week in 1933, an 11-bell chime was set up beside the swimming pool, and Harry Withers, one of the country's leading carry-on players, was brought in by Billy Butlin to give recitals. By the late 1930s, bathing costumes and beachwear were becoming a fraction more sophisticated and daring. She's actually wearing a two-piece. and the inflatable lilo made out of rubberized canvas was now a popular beach accessory. In 1936, Billy Butlin opened his first holiday camp at Skegness, and it quickly established itself as a major attraction. Amongst the most notable celebrities to come and see for themselves was Gracie Fields, who toured the camp in 1938, accompanied by the boxer Jack Doyle and Billy Butlin himself. "60 years on, the basic intention remains the same, but Butlin's has changed almost beyond recognition. Right from the start, beauty contests were always a regular feature at Butlin's. But changing attitudes have made the idea seem less acceptable nowadays, and this was billed as positively the very last. Back in the 30s, though, everyone was encouraged to join in. He obviously hasn't heard the rule about not handling the goods. By the early 60s, beauty contests at the town pool were already showing signs of developing into slickly packaged entertainment. Skegness clearly believed in equal opportunities. These days, outdoor swimming pools are an endangered species, but it's hard to imagine Skegness without one. Ever since 1928, it's boasted the finest open-air pool on the East Coast. In pre-war days, instead of bringing your own costume, it was quite usual to hire one when you bought your ticket. The management clearly believed in making sure that no one walked off with the council's bathing caps. If he slept for 20 years like Rip Van Winkle, he'd have woken up just in time for the water follies of 1955. In the days before wildlife films were 10 a penny, exotic animals were always a major attraction, and Skegness Zoo had an enviable reputation. But it's hard to see what was natural about confining these unfortunate creatures to cages, where they could scarcely take more than a couple of steps in either direction. Today, at the Seal Sanctuary, the emphasis is on rescue rather than capture.
Welcome home, Mrs. T.
But some things don't change all that much. If you could suddenly go back 60 years, you wouldn't find yourself short of familiar landmarks. Skegness Pier was opened in 1881. It cost the staggering sum of £20,840, 11 shillings and fourpence. But it was worth every penny. The following year, on August Bank Holiday, 22,000 day trippers paid to walk along it. In 1937, the entrance was rebuilt in the modern style, which wasn't to everyone's taste. In the 1960s, the pier was still a notable feature, though the entertainment seems to have been left over from an earlier era. But sadly, nowadays, the pier just isn't what it used to be. And since there's nowhere left to walk out to, the amusements have had to move back onto dry land. The sea and the wind between them may have put paid to the pier, but at least the sand hasn't suffered. The beach has probably never been so crowded. Same beach. But back in 1946, you were more likely to dress up than strip off. Can you believe Granny paddling in her best hat and fox fur? Keeping fit was all the rage in the 30s, and roller skating was a popular sport for all ages. You certainly couldn't accuse them of being couch potatoes. But entertainment in that last poignant summer before the war seems to belong on a different planet from its modern equivalent.
Four, three, two, one. Switch on. Crowds up. Now it's snowing now. Real snow. How's that?
Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas! Merry Xmas! Happy New Year! Sunny Skegness!
All the way from Skeggy. Every year in Skegness they come out in fancy dress and it's the thing to do.
If you didn't, you feel a bit of a...
You're not dressed unless you come out in fancy dress in Skegness. And we're going to be famous. Happy New Year to everyone from Skegness. Skegness is all mad. Skegness!
Skegness! Skegness! Best place to be. Excellent. Really, really good.
Well, yes, of course. And for the 1960s, the council produced a special film to spread the word. A family of 4 who've just had a big win on the pools choose Skegness for their holiday of a lifetime. It isn't Skegness as we know it now, but it's the Skegness that a great many people still remember with an abiding and nostalgic affection. The Vine Hotel was visited by Tennyson. More recently, there's been a demand for accommodation to suit all budgets. At the weather station, you could check up on the readings and try some do-it-yourself forecasting. By now, Butlins had added an indoor pool with glass panels underwater so that diners in the restaurant could see what they were missing. After all that, drinks seemed to be called for. But boys who were underage had to stay out in the car park. Evenings offered their own particular style of entertainment. A generation ago, no one even suspected what technology had in store for us. The famous figure-eight switchback first opened in 1908, and what still passed for a white-knuckle ride in the 1960s has given way to a high-tech world of entertainment that earlier visitors could scarcely have dreamt of.